Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby, if you are not already familiar with me, and I love to talk all things personal finance, organization, and lifestyle. I'm so excited to be back for another sit down video. It really feels like it's been so long since I've had a sit down video. If you saw my what I spend in a week video, I ended up leaving my camera in Vancouver when I was in Vancouver last. So I have not had a camera to film. I haven't had a mic. I haven't had anything to film with. And I used to film with my phone, but I used to have a different mic that would work with my phone. And I no longer have that. I only have the DJI mic. So I genuinely was unable to film over the last 6 days or so. I'm excited to have my camera back. I'm excited to get back to another video. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film my birthday vlog that I was fully intending to film on my birthday because of the scenario, but I'm gonna film this and edit this as quickly as I can so that you guys have another video to watch. Today's video is going to be all about my current investments, what I have my money invested in, basically my investment portfolio. I first did this video, I think like 3 or 4 months into having my channel, so it's been a really long time since I've updated this video, and I thought it would be cool to have a look at how everything's doing in my portfolio, all of the different stocks and ETFs that I currently hold in my portfolio, and we could also walk through exactly what I am currently buying every single time I get paid. So just a little background on myself. My name is Gabby. I am 31 years old, recently 31, and I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada right now. I was originally living in Vancouver, Canada, and we recently moved here in the summer. I live with my boyfriend in this 2-bedroom apartment we currently rent. I've been investing my own money since I started my career in 2018. Just for the sake of transparency, I have an inheritance that I received when my grandma passed away. Actually, technically when her partner passed away. My grandma died extremely young. She was 58 years old. It was very traumatic, out of nowhere. She had been saving for retirement for a long time. She was quite young. Her nest egg that she had was given to her partner, and then when he passed away, he split that up between his family members and my family members as well. So I do have an inheritance from that has been invested since probably like 2010, around that time frame. So there has been money invested in my name for quite a long time. I typically do not share the numbers from those investments. I usually only share the amount that I have personally invested and how much that has grown. But for today's video, I won't actually be sharing values of how much money I have in each thing. I'm just gonna be sharing percentage of my portfolio. I can fully share everything. There's something about the inheritance that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like my money. So I haven't shared it on this channel. I think it's a boundary that I have set right now, and I am gonna continue to set. Who knows, maybe one day I'll be forthcoming with it, but at this point I just like to have that boundary. So I won't be sharing exact dollar values for how much I own in every single stock, but you can see like percentage of my portfolio, how big or small that chunk of my total investments is. I am a Canadian, as I mentioned, so my preferred method for investments has been Wealthsimple. Basically, since I started investing, I opened up my Wealthsimple account in 2018 as soon as I got my job, and I set up automatic deposits for investing and savings. So that was something that I'm really proud I did at the very beginning. It is probably my #1 tip to anybody out there who is trying to increase the amount they save and invest. Set up an automatic deposit. It is a non-negotiable. Treat it as though it is money that's taken away before you even receive it. I will show you guys a little bit of the Wealthsimple platform when we get to what I am currently investing in. I do have my automatic investments and savings turned on, so I'll show you all of those once we get there. But I think without further ado, let's dive into this video. As I mentioned, I am Canadian, and I am such a big fan of using Wealthsimple here in Canada for investing. I have been using Wealthsimple basically since I started investing. As soon as I got my job, I set up a Wealthsimple account, and I used the robo-advisor when I first started, and I set up automatic deposits for savings and investments. And I've basically kept those going ever since, and I have only added to them. I think I started with like $100 to $200 every single paycheck was getting invested. Over time, I have increased that to the point where I'm now investing $1,100 every single time I get paid. That is another huge tip of mine, is definitely take advantage of automatic savings and automatic investments if you have the ability with the bank you're currently using. It's basically a non-negotiable. It is something that happens every single time I get paid. I do not turn it off ever. There is no circumstance where I turn it off. I like to just keep a good amount of savings. So if I overspend on my monthly expenses, I pull from my savings, I am not turning off my investments. If you guys are interested in Wealthsimple, I do have a referral code. I think most people get referral codes when they sign up, so I will leave my referral code down below. You will get money and so will I. Also, Wealthsimple is currently running a cool promotion for a free house. Let me see if I can pull this up right now. So Wealthsimple is currently running this cool promotion right now. It's like a home giveaway where you can win $1 million home in Prince Edward County, Ontario. Yeah, I think you also win $100,000 cash as well. No purchase necessary. Usually with Wealthsimple promotions, you have to like meet X criteria. It'll be like transfer X amount from another bank or move this much money into your account. This is simply just an enter now free sign up giveaway. So highly recommend signing up. I don't know personally what I would do with this house if I won it, because I would love to have a beautiful house. I just don't want to live out east, but maybe I would if I had a free house. You never know. So I just have all of my dollar values turned off right now. This is a cool new feature with Wealthsimple that I really enjoy. You can see here in the activity of my retirement account. So this is the RRSP here in Canada. This is the retirement savings plan. Basically, this is a tax deferred account here. So you're basically deferring your tax to when you are retiring and you're hopefully at a lower tax bracket. This basically lowers the amount you pay in taxes every single year. So it is an account I definitely prioritize investing in, but I do max out my TFSA and my FHSA every single year before I start depositing here. But I've maxed out those two accounts, so I'm currently investing in my RRSP, and every single time I get paid, $400 is invested in the FINN ticker. This is a Fidelity ETF product, and I will talk a little bit more about each of these products when we get to the overall investment portfolio. I also invest an additional $100 in that same product. I think I just didn't want to cancel the original one and then make it 500, so I just added a new automation. So that's the same ticker, everything else. $250 goes into FCUV, which is another Fidelity ETF product as well. $250 goes into FCGS, another Fidelity ETF product. And then finally, $100 goes into FBTC. This is the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. It tracks Bitcoin. It's at a much lower dollar amount. It's not like at the $100,000, whatever the heck it is. But I do like to invest a little bit in Bitcoin in my retirement plan, just because, you know, it could be something. It could be something later in life. You know, Bitcoin's done very well. I don't mind taking a little bit of risk in my retirement, which is like the account that I prefer to take risk in, because this is a very, very long-term account. This is like for my retirement, as I mentioned. Okay, so that is everything I am currently investing in every single time I get paid. So those are the main ETFs I'm investing in. I show this because I want you guys to know that I'm currently investing in ETFs and ETFs only. I do own a lot of stocks, and the worry I have with this video is that you're going to see the stocks I own, the amount they're up, and that you're gonna go and want to buy stocks, individual stocks, instead of ETFs. And I just want to put out the world's biggest warning that I am sharing my investment portfolio today, not as a financial advisor, I am not one, not as somebody who even knows exactly what they are doing investing wise, as somebody who has just over the years sort of tried things out, figured out what I prefer, what's comfortable to me. And this is just kind of a culmination of everything I've learned over the years. I used to invest in entirely only stocks, and I have definitely learned my lesson there. There are a ton of stocks that I have either sold or they went to zero that I'm not gonna be sharing today. But I've made a lot of mistakes in the individual stock portion of my investment journey. So basically what I've done over the years is, if it was a bad company that I didn't believe in anymore, I would sell it. Even if it was down, I would sell it before it went to zero. And what I have kept in my portfolio from talking with my financial advisor, we have gone over my portfolio and he has basically told me what is worth keeping in my portfolio, what is not worth keeping in my portfolio. But I will just say, as somebody who has invested in a lot of stocks, the ones you're seeing here today are the ones that were proven to be worthy to stay in my portfolio. So it looks like I have done exceptionally well in the individual stock picking route of investing, but that is simply because we've culled my investments over the years and gotten rid of anything that wasn't good or that we didn't see potential in. I just want to be very, very clear. Please do not see what I currently have my money invested in and just go and buy it. This is probably not going to work out for you. There's a lot of these companies that have just done exceptionally well and that no one could have predicted that they were going to do well. And I just got lucky at the end of the day. I invested a lot in individual stocks during 2020 during the stock market crash of 2020. So I got a really good sale on almost all of these. That was like the year where I was primarily doing my stock investing in individual companies. And if you are curious about some of these companies, if you're wanting to buy them, I would highly recommend running it by somebody first, a professional, a financial advisor, you know, that sort of thing. So I went through today and basically totaled up all of my total amounts of stocks, ETFs, everything, and I have categorized them by ticker, but also by the percentage of my portfolio. So they are lumped together, like if there are several of the same stock, but they're purchased in different accounts, I've lumped them together. But for the most part, I'm going from the largest portion of my portfolio to the smallest portion of my portfolio. So you can see here that the largest portion of my portfolio is something called FGROW. This is an all-in-one growth ETF from Fidelity. I should also mention that my family member that is a financial advisor that helps me out with my financial planning, I don't pay them or anything like that. This is like a very courteous thing that that family member does for me. They also work at Fidelity. So if you see a lot of Fidelity ETFs, that is why. I do have a bias towards Fidelity products because of that. So just a full transparency note. So yeah, FGROW, I have 21.96% of my overall portfolio in this, and that is in my non-reg account. So this is a good majority of my inheritance is in this FGROW product. It was previously an FBAL, but I think because I had changed my time horizon for when I wanted to buy a house, we decided to go with a little bit more of a riskier, a higher risk product. So 21.96 of my overall portfolio, which is a very large chunk of it, is in FGROW. And then I also have in my retirement, 4.75% of my overall portfolio is in FGROW as well. So both of those together have returned about 12.93% and 14.26%. Next, we have XSP, which is the S&P 500. This is a Canadian version of it. It's the Canadian dollar adjusted one. And in my non-reg account, 5.04% of my overall portfolio is invested in XSP, and that is up 64%. So that is excellent. I love seeing a fat return like that. And then in my TFSA, I only have 0.55% of my overall portfolio, and that is up 42.38%. Okay, next we have FIN, which is one of those ETFs I was talking about that I buy every single time I get paid. So I buy this in every single one of my accounts, in my TFSA, my RRSP, FHSA, and my non-reg. 4.25% of my overall portfolio is invested in FIN in my RRSP. That is up 31.6%. 1.64% of my overall portfolio is invested in FIN in my FHSA. That is up 36%. And then I have 1.14% of my overall portfolio invested in FIN in my non-reg account, and that is up 40.24%. Next, we have Aritzia. I have Aritzia in 3 of my investing accounts. So my largest holding is 3.37% of my overall portfolio, and that is my non-reg account, and that is up 217%. So you'll notice that a lot of these ETFs, like they've done pretty well. They're like at very solid, good numbers. But then when you get to a lot of these stocks, they're either up an insane amount or they'll be down quite a bit. But I have 2.95% of my overall portfolio invested in my TFSA in Aritzia, and that is up 379%, which is also nuts. And then I have 0.15% of my overall portfolio invested in Aritzia in my RRSP, and that is up 171.45%. So overall, Aritzia has done exceptionally well over the years, especially because I was like an early investor in Aritzia. I think most of this I bought in the 2020 tank of the investment market. Next, we have FCUV. So this is another one of the Fidelity ETFs that I regularly buy every single time I get paid. I buy this in every single one of my investing accounts. So you can see here, the highest portion I have is in my retirement account at 3.22%, and this is up 13.53%. The next biggest portion is in my non-reg account, and that is up 18.75%. My TFSA has some FCUV as well, about the same as my non-reg amount, and that is up 17.66%. And then the FHSA also has 1.36% of my overall portfolio in FCUV, and that is up 13.05%. FCGS, this is another one of the Fidelity tickers I often buy. I have this in my RRSP and my FHSA. 2.84% of my overall portfolio is invested in my retirement account, and that is up 7.61%. I also have a little bit in my FHSA, and that is up 4.77%. Next, we have Shopify. buy, this is definitely from the 2020 era for sure. 2.83% of my overall portfolio is in Shopify, which is quite large when I really think about it. That's a little bit risky for me, but it has done really well at 222% increase over the total time I've had it. TD, I own some Toronto Dominion Bank. I don't know why I couldn't say that. In my accounts, I have this in both my non-reg and my RRSP. 2.5% in my non-reg, and that is up 55%, which is pretty good. And then the very small amount I have in my retirement is up 39%. Okay, the next one is my favorite stock I've ever purchased, just only strictly from the gains that I've gotten from this stock. I actually have culled this quite a bit over the years. Every, 2 or 3 years, I'd be like, you know what? I own too much of this. It's done so well. What if it goes back down to where I bought it at? I'm just gonna take some wins, take some gatherings of what I have won. So I've definitely sold off a good chunk of this already, but what I have left is 3.51% of my overall portfolio in NVIDIA in my TFSA, and that is up 589%, which is absolutely insanity. NVIDIA in my non-reg account, which is 2% of my overall portfolio, is up 1,299%. That is such an insane rate of return. I got so insanely lucky with this one. I remember my brother just telling me to buy this obscure company. We officially have our first negative stock. So this is the Block stock. This used to be Square. And I always have believed in this product, and I've just held on for dear life with the hopes that it'll eventually turn around, but I just don't know if it ever will. I currently own 2.51% of my overall portfolio in that, and it is down 17%. So a decent amount. But so far, so good. We haven't had many negatives. So that's kind of par for the course when you have individual stocks. Next, we have FBTC. As I mentioned, this is the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF, and I have 1.72% of my overall portfolio in that, and that is up 45.95%. I have FBAL in my TFSA, so this is the balanced product I was talking about. I currently buy the FGROW. I used to buy the FBAL, and this is in my TFSA, and it is 1.69% of my portfolio, and it is up 25%. Next, I have Apple purchased in a lot of my investing accounts. My largest portion is in my non-reg account. This is 2.27% of my overall portfolio, and this is up 93%. Then we have 0.2% of my portfolio in my retirement, and that is up 40.21%. And then I have a little amount in my TFSA, and that is up 22.3%. Next, we have Microsoft. I have 2.14% of my overall portfolio invested in Microsoft in my TFSA, and that is up 182.8%, which is very high. And then I also have 2% of my overall portfolio invested in Microsoft in my non-reg account, and that is up 100%. Next, we have Meta, which is Facebook. I would not buy this stock anymore at all. There's actually a lot of these companies I would not currently buy just ethically, but if I already own it, I just kept it. Meta, 1.79% of my overall portfolio, and that is up 230%. And then we have 1.65% in my non-reg account. That is up 140%. Next, I have Berkshire Hathaway, and that is in my non-reg account, and that is up 178%, 1.38% of my overall portfolio. Then we have Vanguard S&P. This is the USD dollar-tracked S&P one. I don't really buy this one. I usually buy the Canadian one, but I have very, very small amount of my portfolio in this, and that is up 95%. Next, I have American Express. I have 0.99% of my portfolio invested in that, and that is up 220%. These numbers are crazy. They really are. Caterpillar has done exceptionally well for me. This is also a COVID one. I know for a fact I bought during COVID. This is 0.9% of my overall portfolio. It is up 347%. Then we have Ethereum. So this is purchased in my crypto account. This is not like an ETF version. This is straight up crypto. And I do not currently purchase any crypto. I have just sort of left that account as is. Once I start maxing out all of my tax advantage accounts, so next year I imagine I'll probably max out my retirement contributions, then I will move on to investing in my non-reg account or my crypto account. These accounts are taxed normally. So that's why I don't currently invest in this anymore. But one day I also can technically buy ETH and Bitcoin in my tax advantage account. So that's kind of another reason I don't usually buy in my crypto account. But anyway, Ethereum, I have 0.57% of my portfolio in that, and that is up 98.25%. Next, we have Visa, a decently small chunk of my portfolio in that, and that is up 97.46%. Then we have Royal Bank. This is a Canadian bank here. David's home. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I fucked up. I got you a 16-ounce flat white.
Oh,
Too much milk.
it's gonna be heavy on the milk.
It's more of a latte.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I knew I fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
Just milk?
It's literally just milk. That's okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Next in my portfolio, we have, did I say how much I get from Royal Bank? So my Royal Bank is up 92.6%. Then we have Revolve, which I own in both my TFSA and my non-reg. This has not done well for me at all. Good thing it's a very small chunk of my overall portfolio. It is down 8% in my TFSA and 36% in my non-reg account. This is something I've thought about getting rid of just because I haven't really seen any benefits from it, but we are currently just holding on to it for the here and now, just in case Revolve has a huge moment again. Who knows? Next up, we have JP Morgan. I own a decently small chunk of this, and that is up 210%. Then we have Fortis, which is a Canadian power company, and that is also purchased in my TFSA, 0.35% of my overall portfolio, and that is up 31.5%, which is not bad because this is like one of the oldest companies in Canada. They do electrical power. I invested in it more as like a safety bet, not so much as like a return bet, but it's done well. Then we have Bitcoin. This is my normal Bitcoin purchase in my crypto account, and that is only 0.34% of my overall portfolio, but that is up 250%, which is phenomenal. And then we're gonna get into a little bit more reds down here, but luckily they're very small portions of my portfolio. So we have SPY. I thought we already did this. Oh yeah. We did the other S&P 500. We did Vanguard. So this is the SPY version, and that is a very small chunk of change in my TFSA, and that is up 27.61%. Then we have BABA from the Alibaba group. This has not done well for me at all. I think this is the lowest it's been down in a very long time. It was down heavily not too long ago. So it is down 16%. Then we have FETH, which is the Fidelity ETH ticker. I don't have much of this at all. That's only 0.22% of my overall portfolio in my retirement account, and that is up 26%. Then we have Tencent Holdings. I think they do video games. And this was like back when I was trying to get a little bit more diversity in the types of companies I was buying when I was buying individual stocks. Now I just buy some global ETFs, and then I don't have to worry about doing things like this, but this was just like a learning demonstration. 0.3% of my portfolio is Tencent, and I'm up 51.9% on that. Then we have Dine Brands. This is definitely from COVID. I fully remember this. This is down 2.05%, so it's kind of just hovering where I bought it at, which was not the case. It was up a lot for a long time, so I definitely missed my opportunity to sell this guy, but luckily I don't own much of it. Then we have Home Depot. This is up 13.6%, also a small portion of my portfolio. And next we have things that are basically 0% of my portfolio. So a lot of these have either gone to zero or very close to zero, or I had some stocks where the company split into like two different companies, and then I got like a little chunk of the new company when they split. I hope that makes sense. I think that happened with Sky Bioscience and Australis as well. I never actually bought these companies. They just like were in my account. The space Virgin Galactic did go basically to zero. I think it's like down 99% for me or something crazy. 98.78% is what I should say. And then Sky Bioscience also down a lot. That's 57%. Brookfield Corp, which is BN, that is up 130%, but I think I only have this from a split or something. Like I had a very small amount of this. It's basically zero. I think it's like $1.50 or something like that. Then I have Australis, as I mentioned, that is up 90.4%. Then I have THC Biomed, which was one of the weed stocks I first purchased. So I did actually do a little bit of weed stock investing when that went legal. So technically I did some investing when it was, what, 2016 that happened? Whenever Trudeau got signed in. Anyway, there was like a weed boom in Canada, weed stock boom, where all these companies were now legal and they like shot up to the moon. And I decided to invest like whatever little amount of money I had at the time in some of these, and they did not do well. It did not pan out for me. And then lastly, a very sad one for me is the Very Good Food Company. This was a company that actually started in Victoria, where I went to university, and they did vegan food. So I grew up eating them for a long time, and they moved into grocery stores. This was during the era where like Beyond Meat was really big, and then they went public. I purchased some of them, and they ended up going to zero and going out of business, which is truly tragic, but it happens. And I didn't buy much. I think I owned like maybe $400 worth or something like that. So that's kind of the game with investing. You sometimes win big and sometimes you lose big. And hopefully what you're doing is primarily just going for stable. The primary portion of my investing portfolio is just stable things that are likely to be up over time and also are less likely to be as dramatically affected if there are, changes in the economy, or I don't have to worry about a single company going out of business, that kind of thing. Okay, I think that is everything I wanted to share today about my current investment portfolio. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and let me know if you want more videos about investing, I'm happy to do that. If you made it to the end of this video, can you leave a pumpkin emoji in the comments, because we are fast approaching Halloween. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. And also I want to say thank you guys so much for all of the kind comments on my financial privilege video. I'll leave it up in the cards here. You should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But I feel like you guys have been so open and honest about your own personal finance journeys and your experience of financial privilege. And I wish I could comment and reply to every single comment I've been getting, but it's just been like so many, and I am just so touched by your guys' stories. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for sharing your stories and for the kind feedback on that video. I really appreciate it. Love you guys infinitely. I really do. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.